Booktube, it's Kim at Middle of the Book March, and this is my bookish week for Sunday, December 22nd. It is my twin siblings' birthday today. Their 54th birthday. Yeah, 54. You're old like me. I'm still older. Hey, everybody. I have a cat. One of my cats somehow, for some reason, finds a corner of my kitchen, and I don't know if she's chasing her tail or dust mites or a bug, but every single day she goes to that same corner, and there's no mouse hole or anything. I don't know what she's doing. So if you hear any banging around, that's her in the background chasing her tail, I think. So today I had a pretty light bookish week. I did not finish any books, but I do have 5 books on the go. And I'm going to quickly show you what I have currently reading. And then I kind of wanted to chat about different bookish lessons that I've learned in 2024. So let me show you what I'm currently reading. It's pretty much all the same stuff. Thursday Night Widows by Claudia Pineiro. This is translated from Spanish by Miranda France. And this is one of her earlier books. Reading this with the Pineiro Project readers. And if I can say so myself, we're having a great time. I think we're all having a great time. But we're about halfway through Thursday Night Widows, and I probably will finish it this week and continue to discuss with my group. I am reading Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. This is a buddy read with Gareth. I think all of these books are either buddy reads or group reads or book group reads, except for one. But I am reading this with Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic, and this is a reread for me. And wow, what a reread. I mean, I used to have tabs in here. I don't know if you remember me showing you this book multiple times, but I took them all out. And I did have highlights in the last half of the book, but I've been highlighting and dog-earing along the way. And yes, I dog-ear my books, especially books that I know I'm going to keep. But I highlight and dog-ear in the first third. I'm almost halfway through. The first third is wrecked. It's wrecked. But there's so many things to talk about in this book. I am buddy reading Fire in the City, Savonarola, and The Struggle for the Soul of Renaissance Florence by Laurel Martins. This is a buddy read with Joe Smith, one of BookTube's favorite subscribers, readers and commenters and friends. And we are reading this because we will be embarking on reading Romola by George Eliot next year, hopefully. Hopefully, if Joe is still up for it. But I am definitely going to do a reread of Romola. And this is, Romola is Eliot's only historical fiction novel. She wrote about Renaissance Florence in the 1400s, but it was her only book that she wrote that did not have a contemporary setting for her. But Savonarola is a primary historical figure in that book, and so we wanted to read the background. And so far, so good. That book is unpredictably readable. I didn't expect to be enjoying it this much, but I am. I am listening to Familiaris by David Wroblewski. This is not the sequel, the prequel to the story of Edgar Sawtelle. And I am reading this with my book group, The Critical Chicks. I'm listening to this one on audio, and I did not listen to Edgar Sawtelle, but I think it's the same narrator. So if you listen to Edgar Sawtelle, it's the same narrator for Familiaris. This honker is over 900 pages in print. Yeah, it's over 900 pages in print. So I'm probably about a third away through this audiobook, and we're going to be discussing it on January 3rd. So I will wrap it up then. And the last book I'm about halfway through. This is the only book I'm reading just for me, and this is a book that I was sent by a publisher and book promoter. This is Any Human Power by Amanda Scott. I've talked about this one for a while. It's been a slow read, which is good, but I'm at the halfway point where I'm itching to pick it back up because I've had all of these other books that I'm reading for somewhat of a deadline that I've been concentrating on, and this one has taken the back burner, but I will be picking this up again soon. So those are the books that I am currently reading. And I wanted to chat about things that I've learned this past year, some bookish things that I've learned, maybe some other things too. So if you can relate to any of these, let me know in the comments below if you feel led to comment. But this past year was a tumultuous year for me. Got a divorce, moved, got a new job. What else? There's a whole bunch more. I mean, there's some good things too. I mean, I've recovered so well from surgery. I mean, my move was really positive. My daughter and I are doing great. My granddaughter is amazing and healthy, and my family is doing very well. So we're on the upswing. But there's a lot of life lessons I learned. At the age I'm at, I don't have time, and nor do I want to take the time anymore for bullshit. And that became a little bit of a mantra. So I have noticed that I've become a lot more transparent, a lot more honest, a lot more blunt in a good way. And I think that also comes somewhat with age. You get to an age where you just don't care anymore what people think of you. You're not looking for approval anymore. And I'm 58, so I'm not looking for people's approval of me anymore. I don't care if they like me, and I just don't have time to waste. I want to take the time to do things that provoke joy, that I love, and that I know looking forward, I am going to be so happy that I made the choices that I made. And that could be little things. It could be passing up reading a book to spend time with my granddaughter. It could be passing up a book to go take my daughters to a movie, those types of things. And what I have noticed this past year is my reading has slowed way down. A lot of that is because of chaos, and I didn't have the energy, the mental bandwidth, the physical time to sit and read a book, especially taking on the job that I took. It's taken up so much mental and physical energy that it was difficult to find a lot of free time to read. So my reading has slowed down, but I've noticed that I'm really satisfied with my reading. I am taking much more time with books. I am reading smaller pieces at a time. Even with 5 books on the go, I'm reading much smaller pieces of each of them so that I'm staying in the book longer. And I'm still trying to figure out, is that good? Is that good for me? Is that working for me? In a way it is, as I said. I'm staying in a book longer, but what I'm used to is just barreling through a book, reading it from cover to cover. And not reading it so fast, although I'm a fast reader, but staying in one book for an extended period of time. And then going on to the next book, doing the same thing. But for this, over the past year, I've grabbed 15 minutes here, half an hour there. I'll read a little bit at lunch. I'll read a little bit after work. I'll read a little bit before bed. And so I'm taking smaller chunks of time to read. And in a way, I do like that. In another way, I miss the time that I've been able to spend with a book for maybe an hour or two. And I'm thinking maybe this coming year I will be able to get back to that to a certain point. The other thing I've learned, I think this is a repeated lesson for me. I not necessarily want to keep slowing down, but I don't want to have so many books on the go at one time. And I am going to be hyper-vigilant on my schedule next year, my bookish schedule. Hyper-vigilant on what I'm reading, when, how many events I'm getting involved in, how many buddy reads I'm committing to, because I have 4 books with deadlines in my pile. That makes me a little anxious. That makes me shaky. And it's nobody's fault. It's me not wanting to miss anything, not wanting to bypass anything. Every one of the books that I'm reading right now the reading experiences are fantastic, especially the buddy reads and the group read. So I've learned again how not to overcommit, and I've learned the types of books that are important to me. That's a good segue into the next lesson. I've learned the types of books that are important to me. I have read some nonfiction, but not a lot, not as much as I may have been reading in the past. And I've listened to a lot of nonfiction. That's my primary genre that I like on audio most often is nonfiction. Fiction, although I am listening to familiaris, fiction is more difficult for me because I need to concentrate on fiction more, to hear all of the words, the sentences, the characters, that type of thing. And so I have listened to a lot of nonfiction. I've listened to a lot of memoirs, which I really enjoyed. And when I look back at the books I read this past year, I think these are the most audiobooks that I've ever read. And I will have a count, maybe next weekend I'll have a count of the audiobooks compared to the physical books. I still enjoy physical books more. I do. And I have very rarely picked up my Kindle. I have not read electronically for a long time. And it may have something to do with the number of books I have on my shelves. It's not that I'm doing a read what you own challenge, because I probably won't ever stop buying books, but I definitely have slowed down in my purchasing. What else? What have I learned? There's so many genres that I tried, and I'm the type of reader that I'll try anything. I will experiment with something I haven't read before, or a type of book I haven't read before, or a subject matter or a topic, and I'll try it. I'll pretty much try anything once. But I started to feel like I'm branching out too much, if that makes sense. I know what I love, and I was veering away from that. And part of that, I think, was a little bit of FOMO, fear of missing out. I wanted to read certain things that I may not have ever picked up had I not had something that I was reading it for, like an event or a group or whatever. I picked up some audiobooks on my own that I thought I would try. And I keep track of some DNFs if I get to a certain point, but I have picked up so many books that I stopped very quickly because I knew I didn't like them, and I don't record them. So you would be surprised at the number of books I started and just did not continue. And I decide very quickly because as I said, I know what I love. In certain books, especially new genres or new authors, new subjects, within the first 10 pages, if I am not captivated, they're gone. And unapologetically, very quickly. So I'm getting back to the foundation of what I love to read. And I look at my shelves every day, and I think of 2025 coming up, and I realize, there's so many books that I know or I think I'm going to love. And I really want to pick that up next year, early next year. I want to read it next year for sure. And I'm really looking forward to doing that, really very much. One of the other things I learned is I'm going on a really heavy-duty budget next year. And I was analyzing my buying patterns this last year, especially for books. And it's astounding to me how many books I purchased and why did I purchase them? A lot of the times, especially this past year, I was buying books out of a sense of I need therapy. I need bookish therapy. I need not necessarily retail therapy because I'm not a good shopper. I hate to shop. But I will order books all over the place, and I caught myself doing that for the wrong reasons. So next year is going to be a high budget year. I will continue to stock library sales because I have never experienced that level of bookish joy than when I go to a library sale and I find amazing books and I walk out of there with a stack of books that's almost too heavy to carry out the door. That will make me laugh and smile and giggle and giddy, and I won't stop doing that because when I buy books for 50 cents, $1 or $2, and I have a great time doing it, and my daughter comes with me, for whatever reason, library sales are like my hot chocolate. They're just soothing to the soul, and they make me deliriously happy. I will not stop doing that. So I rediscovered my love of fantasy last year. I started the year rereading The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings with Heidi and Doris. And wow, what a phenomenal way to begin the year. And after that, I started reading a couple more fantasy books. I was looking at fantasy titles more often. And I bought several books that I eagerly want to get to because I can't wait to escape. And again, considering the last year I had, escape was foremost on my mind. And in 2025, as our political climate changes in the US, I will probably want to deep dive into some escape fiction again, more than once. So, I think that's it for now of different bookish lessons I learned last year and what I'm taking with me in 2025. I do not create resolutions. I do not live by New Year's resolutions, but I do have some really happy, joyous, fantastic goals that I personally want to meet for myself, to feed my bookish soul. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.